Wind howled through Malifaux City like a chorus of restless spirits, rustling the crumbling tombstones in every cemetery. Fog crept through alleys and canals, hiding secrets and whispers from prying eyes. Molly Squidpiddge stood amidst the forgotten dead, her ghostly form swaying in the breeze. A tattered lace shroud draped over her shoulders like a macabre bridal veil, her once vibrant hair now reduced to wisps of gray that danced with every gust. Eyes sunken and empty, Molly's gaze wandered across the graveyard's haphazard expanse, as if searching for something lost beneath the fog. Her eyes settled on a sight that made her heart, well, not exactly stop, but it certainly skipped a beat. Nailed to the wooden gate of St. Michael's Cemetery hung a corpse bearing an uncanny resemblance to herself. Molly felt a shiver run down the length of her spectral frame as she floated closer. The body was hers, no question about it. The same delicate features, the same haunting eyes that now stared back at her with a lifeless, accusatory gaze. A single note, scribbled in red ink on a piece of torn parchment, was pinned to the chest. "Tomorrow's dawn will bring new life." Molly's mind reeled as she processed this impossible revelation. She couldn't die. She was already dead. Yet, here lay her very body, nailed to a gate like some macabre decoration for the living to stumble upon. With a faint whisper of rage and despair, Molly dissipated into nothingness, vanishing from sight as abruptly as she'd appeared. Her ghostly form coalesced on the fog-shrouded streets of Malifaux City, hunting answers in every forgotten small, smoke-filled office buried deep within the Guild's fortress-like headquarters. Governor General Arenville scowled at the papers scattered across his desk. A soft knock at the door broke the silence. "Enter." A young enforcer poked her head in, eyeing Arenville with an air of trepidation. "Governor General, we've received a report from the St. Michael's Cemetery. One Molly Squidpiddge has gone missing." Arenville's brow furrowed as he considered this tidbit of information. "Molly Squidpiddge? The ghostly summoner?" The enforcer nodded. "That's the one, sir. We're not sure what happened to her body, but the local resurrectionists are whispering about unnatural resurrection." Arenville's eyes snapped up from his papers, a glint of cold calculation flashing within their depths. "I want every guild operative on high alert. We need to know more about this unnatural resurrection and whether it poses a threat to our control over Malifaux City." With a curt nod, the enforcer withdrew, leaving Arenville lost in thought. In his mind's eye, he envisioned Molly Squidpiddge, that ghostly summoner with an unsettling ability to defy death itself. If she could indeed be resurrected, what implications would this hold for his plans? The Governor General's smile chilled the air as he leaned back in his chair, lost in contemplation. Deep within their charnel house lair, Seamus huddled with a small coterie of fellow resurrectionists. The flickering candlelight dancing across their pale faces cast eerie shadows on the walls as they debated the finer points of necromancy. "Seamus, are you certain this will work?" Molly's disembodied voice echoed within his mind, her presence an unsettling reminder of what they were about to attempt. "Aye, lass," Seamus replied. "I've studied Molly's patterns. She's too predictable. Her essence will respond to our manipulation." As one, the resurrectionists reached for their respective tools. Seamus for his rusty lancet, Molly Squidpiddge for a wooden stake pinched between her spectral fingers. The operation began with a soft whisper, Molly's ghostly form coalescing above the charnel pit, where her body lay. With a shiver that left the group chilled to the bone, she guided Seamus' hand as he plunged the lancet into her own corpse's heart. The air seemed to shudder in response to this act of defiance against mortality, and for an instant, the very fabric of reality seemed to ripple. Perched atop a crumbling tombstone within St. Michael's Cemetery, a lone figure watched with an unblinking gaze as Seamus and his cohorts worked their dark magic. Inky black robes billowed around him like a living shroud, and the whispering wind carried hints of the breach itself, a swirling vortex of energy that lay just beyond the veil. His eyes, an unearthly shade of silver, locked onto Molly's ghostly form, coalescing above her own corpse. With each step closer to their goal, she seemed to grow more solid, a reality-bending paradox that defied explanation. As Seamus plunged the lancet into his target, a faint tremor ran through the figure's frame. His gaze flickered towards Molly, concern etched on his pale face. "Ah, no," he whispered. "She won't accept this. She'll fight it." A sigh escaped him as reality itself began to shudder in response to their actions. The morning light creeping over Malifaux City's fog-shrouded rooftops seemed cruelly bright as Seamus and his team stumbled out of the charnel house, arms laden with tools. Molly Squidpiddge stood before them, restored to life with an unnatural glow in her eyes. Her gaze swept the group, then settled on Seamus, a mix of gratitude and suspicion flickering across her features. "You helped me," she whispered. Seamus's face remained impassive as he handed her a small vial containing a glowing liquid. "Drink this, lass. It will help you remember." Molly's hand closed around the vial like an iron vice, her fingers trembling with an unseen force. As the first drops touched her lips, a jolt of electricity coursed through her body, forcing her eyes wide open. Reality began to bend and warp in response to this act of defiance against mortality. Threads within the fabric of existence starting to unravel as if pulled by some unseen hand. The figure perched atop the tombstone watched with growing unease as Molly Squidpiddge stumbled out into a world where she was both alive and not. Her gaze kept drifting towards Seamus, then back to him, searching for answers to questions that only made sense in death. Their plan had worked, but at what cost? Molly's presence began to bleed into the living's reality, creating miniature distortions within Malifaux City's streets, doorways leading to alleys within the same building, or the echoes of whispers from a world beyond our own. These anomalies whispered secrets on the wind. Tomorrow's dawn will bring new life, and with each passing moment, they grew stronger. The figure shifted uncomfortably on his perch, as reality itself began to fray at the seams, threads snapping with a sound that was almost like sighs of despair. Within the confines of Erenville's office, news arrived that Molly Squidpiddge had been found alive. Her resurrection an unnatural act that threatened the very fabric of Malifaux City. With each passing moment, whispers spread across the city like wildfire, some speculating on the implications of a person defying death itself. As such gossip reached Erenville's ears, a cold smile crept across his face. "Summon Lucius," he ordered his aide. "We have a matter to discuss, one that requires precision." Lucius, executioner in guild livery, arrived with an air of quiet respect as the Governor-General briefed him on Molly Squidpiddge's situation. "It seems," Erenville concluded, "we must determine whether this unnatural resurrection will pose a threat to our control. What do you propose?" A glint in his eye, Lucius replied. "The executioner's solution, Governor-General? She's still technically dead, thus under guild jurisdiction." With a nod, the two men set their plans in motion, an unseen current coursing through Malifaux City as they conspired against Molly Squidpiddge. Perched atop his crumbling tombstone, the figure watched with unease as reality continued to fray at the seams. His gaze drifted towards Molly, her presence a burning thread within this tapestry of existence. A chill crept up his spine as he realized their plan had unwittingly awakened something ancient and dark. These whispers of tomorrow's dawn seemed to seep into every corner of Malifaux City, creating impossible distortions that threatened the very fabric of reality. In desperation, he reached for an unseen power, one tied to the breach itself. Pandora. A whisper echoed through the void as his form began to dissolve. A doll-like figure emerged from the fog, her porcelain face twisted into a macabre grin. As she danced towards Molly, threads of reality snapped and reformed around them like living chains, their bond tied to forces beyond mortal comprehension. Dawn broke over Malifaux City like a scream of despair as distortions deepened within its streets, realities bleeding into each other like watercolors on wet paper. Seamus, Molly's benefactor, watched with growing unease from his perch atop the charnel house. Reality itself seemed to be unraveling at their hands. And so it came to pass that Molly Squidpiddge stood face to face with Lucius, executioner for the guild. Her unnatural existence a threat they sought to eliminate. Their blade clashed in midair as threads of reality snapped and reformed around them, creating miniature distortions that echoed whispers from beyond their world. When the battle ended, only two figures remained standing amidst this shattered landscape. Molly Squidpiddge, with Lucius's dagger lodged deep within her chest. With a faint whisper, she vanished into the breach itself, her essence lost to the void as reality reformed around them like a shroud of silence. But in that moment, the thread connecting Molly and Pandora seemed to strengthen, an unseen pact forged between two beings who danced at the edge of existence. In the aftermath, whispers spread across Malifaux City. Tomorrow's dawn will bring new light. Yet those who listened closely detected something more within these words. A promise whispered by ghosts in dark alleys, hidden truth seeping into every corner of existence like slow-moving decay. And when the dust settled, only one thing remained certain. In this forsaken world where death itself was but an illusion, nothing would ever be as it seemed again. Epilogue. The figure perched atop his tombstone watched Molly Squidpiddge disappear into the void. Reality's distortions deepened within Malifaux City, echoes of whispers from beyond their world, growing louder with each passing moment. As threads continued to snap and reform around him, he steeled himself for what lay ahead, a future where nothing would ever be as it seemed again. His gaze drifted towards Pandora, who now danced in the fog-shrouded alleyways like some macabre mistress of fate. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "we'll dance in the breach." The threads of reality snapped once more as his form dissipated into nothingness, a lone figure lost within the void, whispering secrets to an unseen world. And so, amidst this tapestry of existence, where death itself was but an illusion, whispers spread across Malifaux City. Tomorrow's dawn will bring new life.